Hi everyone, welcome to today's lunchtime flow. Today we're doing, my first 200-hour training was in Baptiste yoga, so today we're going to do a Bhakti sequence. So if you're newer to it, it's kind of similar to what I do anyway, but if you do know Baptiste, then you will find this quite familiar. There's also some building work going on next door, so if you do hear that, I apologise. So let's get started. Always with these classes, if you have an injury, if anything hurts, please be careful. Listen to your body, don't overdo anything. Yeah, let's get started. We're going to start in a child's pose. So big toes touching, knees nice and wide, forehead comes onto the floor. Just allowing yourself to drop straight into your practice today. Reach the fingertips as far forward as you can as you press your seat bones back and down towards the heels. Engage your Ujjayi breath in and out through the nose. Notice how deep you can make your breaths here, breathing right into the back of the lungs, the back of the rib cage. Downward facing dog. Make your way into your inverted V shape for a downward facing dog. Maybe bend through each knee at a time, walking your way into the dog, noticing how the hamstrings are feeling, how the spine is feeling, really trying to tilt the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Maybe keep a softness in the knees to get access to the pelvis here. Fingertips are spread wide and pressing down and forwards into the mat. Walk your feet to your hands. And take a ragdoll at the top of the mat. Opposite hand comes to opposite elbow. Let the head hang heavy. It might feel nice here to sway a little bit from side to side. Maybe take a little bounce. Just feeling your way into your practice, into your physical body. It might be the first time you've stopped and really thought about things today. Thought about how you're feeling, what's going on. Release your hands and slowly roll all the way up to standing. Have your head as the last thing to lift. Reach your arms up overhead, take a full body stretch. And then bring your hands together at heart center, heel toe the feet together to touch. So the big toes are touching, knees are slightly apart. Close down the eyes. Just taking a moment of stillness before we get flowing into the practice. Maybe setting an intention for your practice, for your day, maybe even for your week ahead. And with that intention in your mind, gently open the eyes back up. Inhale, we reach the arms up tall. Exhale to fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale as you step back into your high plank, pausing here. Just checking in your engagement, so fingers are spread wide. Press the earth away as much as you can here. Feel the space in between the shoulder blades, reach up towards the ceiling. Pull the tummy button in and up towards the spine and squeeze the muscles in the legs. Really find engagement through the whole body here. See if you can reach your chest a little bit further forwards as you reach your heels back. So you're really looking for length through the spine. Don't sink in the hips and also don't stick the bum out here. We're looking for length and stability through the body. Drop your knees, untuck your toes, keep your elbows close to the body, come all the way down to the mat. Inhale, peel the chest open, baby cobra. Just use your back muscles here so you can lift your hands off the floor. Keep pressing down with the tops of the feet. Push back through your knees. Downward facing dog. It's just checking in. Each time you come back to your down dog, it's an opportunity to really check with what's going on in your practice, in your body. So always working from the ground up, which parts of you are connected with the mat, what's going on there. Full breath in. As you exhale, walk, step, or if you're ready, jump to your hands. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale to fold forwards. Inhale, rise up to standing, reach up tall. Exhale, we bow. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, high plank. Options to drop your knees once more or shift forwards, take a low plank. Either another cobra or it's upward facing dog, open the chest. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. So each time you take a vinyasa, you can choose which variation you take, either dropping the knees or keeping them lifted. Listen to your body. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, feet to hands, walk, step or float. Inhale finds a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, press the feet down, rise up, maybe a small back bend, open the chest, gaze lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back, high to low plank or dropping the knees. Don't rush it. Inhale, upward facing or cobra, squeeze the glutes, open the chest. Downward facing dog. Soften your knee. Gaze forwards lightly, softly, just float to your hands. Lift halfway. Fold. Inhale, rise tall. As you exhale, you start to fold forwards. Flat back on the inhale. Exhale, step or maybe float back to your low plank. If you're floating, always try and land with bent elbows, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Ujjayi breath. And whenever any other thoughts or sensations come up for you in your practice, your breath is the best way to anchor you in this practice. Take a full breath in through the nose. As you exhale, walk, step or float to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Bring your big toes to touch. Bend your knees. You are in your chair pose. Sink the hips nice and low. Squeeze the thighs towards each other. Press the weight right into the back of the feet, so much so that you can lift your toes. Sink the hips a little bit lower. Take a full breath in. As you breathe out, fold. Halfway lift. Step or float back, low plank. Remember, if you float, to always land in a low plank, up dog or cobra. Down facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, warrior one. Press both feet down, rise up nice and tall. Maybe pausing in your warrior one just to check in with the positioning of the feet. Can you bend into the front knee a little bit more? Keep the fingertips spark to life, but try not to have the shoulders up by the ears. Keep the shoulder blades nice and low on the spine. Breathe in. Breathe out. We flow high to low plank. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot steps forwards, warrior one. Rise up tall. Again, don't be afraid to make any adjustments here. Just because you've stepped into the pose one way doesn't mean you have to stay with that. We flow high to low plank. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Let's take a big sigh here in our down dog. So breathe in through the nose. Open the mouth and just let it go. Do that once more. Full breath in. Feet to hands, walk, step or float. Flat back. Fold. Chair pose, one breath. Let's flow now. Fold forwards. Halfway lift. Step or float back, low plank. Not rushing through the poses. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forwards, warrior one. Inhale, rise to. Exhale, low plank. Moving with your breath. As you inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Left foot forwards, warrior one. Exhale, low plank. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. So you know where you're going in this sun salutation B. Allow your breath to guide the movement. So we almost step into a moving meditation in this vinyasa part of our practice. So as the breath changes, the pose moves, the body moves. Full breath in. Breathe out, feet to hands. Lift halfway. Fold. Chair pose, inhale. Exhale, you bow forwards. Halfway lift. Step or float back to your low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot forwards, warrior one. Low plank. Up dog. Down dog. Left foot forwards, warrior one. Exhale, we flow. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Just noticing how the body's feeling as we flow quite quickly through these vinyasas. What's coming up for you here? If you're losing control of your breath, what can you do to slow it back down? Straight away, we're building heat in the body. And in yoga, we call that tapas. And it's that fire that we start building, that you start feeling as we breathe Ujjayi breath. We flow through our vinyasas, whatever movement that it is that we are taking today. Breathe in. Breathe out, feet to hands. Lift halfway. Exhale, we fold. Chair pose. Fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low plank. Moving with your breath. Don't rush through that low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forwards, warrior one. Exhale, we flow. As you inhale, back bend. As you exhale, hips are high, down dog. Left foot forwards, warrior one. Exhale, we flow. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Notice what's coming up for you here. If you're thinking how many more of these are we going to be flowing through, if you're enjoying the repetitive motions that we are taking. Let's go for one more. In through the nose. As you exhale, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. Fold forwards. Flat back on the inhale. Exhale takes you to a low plank. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Right foot forwards, warrior one. Exhale to flow. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot forwards, warrior one. Exhale, low plank. Up dog. Downward facing dog. So hopefully by this point you're feeling a little bit warmer, a little bit more ready for the practice. Let go of anything that might have happened this morning, this weekend that's on your mind, and just really focusing on being in the present moment. Bring your big toes together to touch. Lift your right leg up. Bend your right knee open through the hips. Options to stay here or gently moving slowly flip your dog. If you flipped your dog, feet are parallel, both facing the back of the mat. Press the hips up, right hand reaches overhead, maybe even into a full wheel pose if you have the access here. Keep breathing. Nice and slowly flipping back. Right hand comes to the mat, spin over, side plank, right hand down, left arm up. Keep the core switched on. Think about lifting the hips. Press that right hand down. Each of the fingertips are pressing into the floor. Let's hold it for 5. For 4. Keep breathing. For 3. For 2. For 1. Gently place both hands to the mat, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Feet to touch. We're going to stay on the right side. So lift that right leg up once more. Bring your knee to your nose. Kick back up. And again, knee comes towards your nose. See if you can actually connect your knee and nose. Kick it back up. Bring your knee towards your forehead. Maybe you touch your forehead towards your knee. Hold it here. Then gently step that right foot in between the hands. Rise up to your crescent lunge. Back heel is lifted here. Find your balance. Fingertips reach up tall. Maybe you lengthen the distance between the feet to increase the sensations in the legs. Bring your hands together at heart center. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, we twist towards our right. Hooking your left elbow over the right thigh. You can keep palms pressing into each other, or maybe open the arms, deepen the twist. If you can, gazes up towards the ceiling. Keep reaching the back of the left knee up towards the ceiling, strong in that back leg. Moving with control, come back to center. Don't pause, straight away open out into your warrior 2. Fingertips reach long. Feet are pressing down and away from each other. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Really find that side body stretch here. Extended side angle, right forearm, right thigh, left arm up. Either stay exactly where you are, maybe come into the pose a little bit more. Maybe go for a half bind, maybe go for a full bind. Wherever you are, you're opening the chest up towards the ceiling. Stay with your breath. No matter what sensations are going on physically here, really try and focus on breathing into it. See if you can deepen the pose as you breathe. Staying with it those moments longer than you think you want to, than you think you can. And just at that point where you think, I need to get out of this pose, sink into it a little bit deeper. If you are bound, gently release. Everyone, hands to mat, step back, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Maybe there's a slightly different sensation in the sides of your body right now. Maybe there's not. Either way, let's bring our big toes to touch with the left leg up. Bend that left knee, open those hips. See how close you can bring the left heel towards the left seat bone. Options to stay exactly where you are, or moving slowly with control, flip your dog. Again, check the feet are parallel to each other, facing the back of the mat, and then press the hips up, coming into a back bend. Left hand reaches back overhead. Maybe you come into a wheel pose if it is available in your shoulders. Keep breathing. Can you lift your hips a little bit higher? From here, moving slowly, we're going to spin all the way over to our side plank. Left hand down, right arm up. So as we go through these transitions, try not to pause. Try and keep the movement flowing. Squeeze the glutes in, squeeze the core in. Lift the hips a little higher. Let's stay for 5. Press the left hand down for 4. Maybe lift the gaze to the right fingertips for 3. For 2. For 1, gently, don't fall out of it. Place that right hand intentionally down, high plank. Low plank. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, so staying on that left side. Knee comes to the nose, round the spine, shift the weight forwards, kick back. And again, knee towards nose, try and connect the knee and nose. Kick it back. Last one, knee towards nose, or maybe even knee and forehead touch this time. And then gently place that left foot in between the hands, rising up to your crescent lunge. Take a moment, especially if you feel a little bit wobbly. If you're feeling really wobbly, you can walk that left foot further towards the left. Focus your gaze. So we've spoken so far about vinyasa, about flow. We've spoken about tapas, which is heat. And now we're thinking about our gaze, which we call drishti in yoga. Lift that back heel a little bit higher. Hands come together. Inhale to find length. Exhale, twisting towards your left this time. Really find that twist from the center of your spine. Think about spiraling the chest towards the ceiling. Choose if you keep your hands together, maybe open the arms and open the chest a little bit more here. Breathing deeply. Keeping the legs, that front knee bent, slowly come back to center, and without moving, spin all the way into your warrior two. So often we want to straighten our leg as we transition, but really trying to keep strong in that front leg. Flip your front palm, reverse. Extended side angle, forearm to thigh, right fingertips lift. Again, today, maybe this is where you want to stay. If this is feeling good, stay exactly where you are. Maybe you drop the left hand down. Maybe you take a half bind. Maybe you take a full bind. Totally up to you. Whatever's going on, you are breathing into it. You are opening the chest. Squeeze the glutes, almost as if you were tucking the tailbone. That's how much you want to be switching the glutes on. Open the chest a little bit more. Keep pressing that back foot down, the baby toe edge of the back foot. Breathing deeply. Again, just as you feel that heat, that tapas build, maybe you want to back off a little bit, give that thigh a little rest, but stay with it, maybe sink into it even more. Your body is a lot stronger than you think it is. It's capable of a lot more than you think it is. If you're bound, gently release. Everyone, place your hands to the mat, step back, flow through a vinyasa, or maybe skip it out and go straight to your downward facing dog. Your choice. Just taking a few breaths here in your down dog. If you need to sigh, it might feel nice, especially if you've got any tension that's been building up and you just want to let it go. Soften your knees. Gaze comes in between the hands. Jump as lightly as you can all the way to the top of your mats. Inhale takes a halfway lift. Exhale, we fold forwards. Bring your feet together to touch. Sink the hips into your chair pose. Fingertips reach up. Check you've got a little bit of space behind you and start to lower the hips all the way onto your yoga mats. Take a rock and roll without touching the floor, without overthinking it. Come back into your chair pose. Don't worry if you didn't make it or if you're still on the floor. Make your way to your chair pose when you're ready. Hands come together at heart center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, we twist towards the right. Sink the hips low. Keep opening the chest. So same in our crescent twist. It's that same movement of spiraling the chest open. Keep pressing the weight into the heels. Maybe even check down towards the knees. One knee tends to want to shoot forwards here. Try and keep them in line. Sink the hips a little bit lower. Let that heat build up and enjoy it. Breathe into it. Know that the best way to move stuck energy, stuck emotion is through movement, physical movement. On your next inhale, come back to a chair pose. Exhale, we fold forwards. Separate your feet to about hip width, maybe even mat width apart, whatever feels good. And wrap your first two fingers, so your peace fingers, around your big toes. Keeping the connection between your fingers and toes, take a halfway lift. So you can take a generous bend in the knees if you need to. And then fold deeply over your legs. Let your chin tuck towards the chest. Find length through the spine, through the neck. And breathe into it. You want to find the connection between the fingers and toes, so that you're almost pulling your chest further into this forward fold position. Relax the muscles in your face. Release your toes. Heel toe your feet together to touch. Then how we find length. Exhale, twisting towards your left this time. So again, maybe a quick check in the knees, see that one isn't sort of shooting in front of the other. And really press the weight into the heels. Imagine there is a chair or a seat just a few inches behind you, and you're really trying to reach your seat bones for it. Keep squeezing the thighs together, the glutes together, and press the palms into each other. Find your breath here. And as you sink the hips lower, breathe a little bit more loudly. Use your Ujjayi breath to power you in this pose. We call our Ujjayi breath our victorious breath. So really let it power you here. On your next inhale, keep the knees bent. Inhale, we come back to chair pose. Exhale, we fold forwards. Separate your feet. Again, you can go hip or mat width apart. And this time you're sliding the whole of the palm of the hand under the foot. So the toes are right up on your wrist creases. Again, find length, so halfway lift. You can really find, bend your knees and almost have your stomach kissing your thighs. And then exhale, fold, let the head hang heavy. Let's take a horse breath from here. So in through the nose. And then on the exhale, just flutter the lips. Do that once more. In through the nose. Release any of the tension you might be holding in the jaw and the face. And then come back to an Ujjayi breath. Release your hands. Two options from here. First option, sink into your Malasana squat, hands together at heart center. If you want to stay with me, it's a crow pose. Hands flat to the floor, hips up nice and high. Let your knees just rest on your upper arm bones and just rock your weight forwards. Keep the big toes together if you can. Draw the big toes towards your seat bones. Keep breathing here. If you're still in your Malasana squat, lifting the crown of the head. If you are still in your crow pose and would like to go for a shoot back, you're going to shoot back into a low plank in 3. Keep breathing 2. 1, shooting into your low plank, take your vinyasa. If you're in your Malasana squat, we are coming to meet you shortly. Once you find your down dog, step your right foot to the outside of the right hand, left foot to the outside of the left hand. Everyone is down in their Malasana squat. Release your hands to the mat. Nice and slowly start to lift the hips. We are back in a forward fold. Heel toe your feet so they are parallel to each other, hip width apart. And with soft knees, nice and slowly, we're going to roll all the way up to standing. Nice. Find your foundation here. So really root the 4 outer corners of the feet down. Engage the muscles in the legs. So whenever we come to a standing pose, it's really nice to find that connection with the mat. Eagle pose. Right leg over left, right arm under left. So the standing knee is bent here. Elbows are in line with the shoulders. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw. Often when we start balancing, we lose our breath, we lose the softness that we might otherwise have. Release the pose. Eagle on the left leg over, left arm comes under. Can you sink your hips a little bit lower here? And release. Let's go eagle on the right leg over. Right arm comes under. Noticing as we come into it for the second time, does it feel any different? Does your body know where it's going? Or does it feel just the same and there's been no change? Release, eagle on the left leg over, left arm comes under. Breathe into it, sink those hips a little bit lower. Release, unravel. Dancer's pose. Elbow comes, right arm comes alongside the body. Grab the inside of that right foot. Left arm reaches tall. Start with knees touching if you can, and then start to lean forwards. And as you lean forwards, you kick back into your hand. Try not to have the gaze down here, so it's tempting to sort of sink the head down. But try and keep lifting, so it's a counterbalance between reaching forwards and kicking backwards. And release, windmill the arms. Right arm reaches up, left hand grabs the arch of that left foot. Start with knees touching. Think about reaching up and then start to lean forwards as you kick back into the hand. Breathing here. Imagine there's something just a little bit ahead of you that you're really trying to grab hold of. Release the pose. Nice. Shake anything out that you need to. Tree pose. Sole of the right foot to the inside of the calf or the thigh. Start with hands together at heart center. Focus your gaze, your drishti. Try and keep it on one spot in front of you. And then choose if you want to keep your hands together or maybe open them up, grow your tree. Breathing deeply here. Maybe you keep your gaze where it is. Maybe you lift your gaze up towards the ceiling. Totally up to you. And release. Tree on the left. Sole of the left foot to the inside of the calf or the thigh. Hands are together at heart center. Find your balance. And then let's grow your tree. And this time, see if you can have your palms facing forwards and you lift your gaze up towards the ceiling and picture yourself running through the finish line of a race. In this victorious pose, stand a little bit taller. And we release both feet down. If you've moved around your mat, just step to the top of your mat. Inhale, we reach the arms up tall. Exhale, we're folding forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back, high to low plank, or skip it out, go straight to down dog, totally up to you. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward, warrior two, open straight into your warrior two. Straighten the front leg, reach forwards and down to your triangle, trikonasana. Gaze can be down or it can be up towards the left fingers. If it's too much in that front hamstring, feel free to keep a little micro bend in the right knee. Again, find that sensation of squeezing the glutes so much that you're almost tucking the tailbone. Press with the back foot. On your next inhale, rise up to standing. Turn your front foot so it's both feet are facing the left side of your mat. Slightly pigeon toe the toes here, so slightly point the toes towards each other. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, you fold forwards. Let the hands come down either towards the shins, maybe towards the big toes. Let the head hang heavy. And really draw the crown of the head towards the floor. So most of us in a sort of forward fold like this, where we feel a little bit nervous about falling on our head, press most of our weight into the back of the feet, so into the heels, but really try and work out where that edge is. So gently rocking your weight backwards and forwards here. And as you rock forwards, you might notice that the crown of the head just touches onto the floor. It might not, totally depends on what's going on for you today. Just breathe into it. Release the toes or the shins. With a straight spine, on an inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Turn your front foot to face 12 o'clock. Back foot is in and out slightly. Grab opposite hand to opposite elbow. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, folding forwards, pyramid pose. Drawing your forehead towards your right shin. Sending your breath to that right hamstring, especially if it's feeling this stretch quite intensely. From here, let's take a halfway lift, flat back. And then as you exhale, release hands to mat, step back into a high plank. Take a vinyasa or skip it and go straight to your downward facing dog, your choice. Let's go left foot forwards. Open straight out into your warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Tilt forward. You might hear your hip crack or pop in this pose, and then tilt down. So always when it was back teaching in real life, as we came into triangle pose, I knew everyone was doing it right. If I had a few hips pop and crack as we tilted. So know that that is a good sign if that's happening. Squeeze the glutes, press the back foot down. Almost coming into a slight back bend here as you open the chest as much as you can. On your next inhale, rise back up to standing. Turn the left foot in, so both feet are facing the right side of your mat this time. Interlace your fingers at your sacrum. Slightly pigeon toe the toes once more. Inhale, we open the chest. Exhale, come forwards into your forward fold. So keeping the hands interlaced, reaching your hands towards the head, towards the space on the floor in front of the head. Keep pressing down with the baby toe edges of both feet here. Gently release the hands. On an inhale with a straight spine, rise up to standing. Turn the left foot to face 12 o'clock. Right foot in and out slightly so the hips are square to the top of your mat. Grab opposite hand to opposite elbow. Inhale, open. Exhale, fold over the left leg. Again, forehead and chest reaching towards the left shin. Think about drawing the right hip forwards and the left hip back to keep them in line as much as possible here. On your next inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, step back, high plank, pausing in your high plank. From here, shift your weight forward. You can drop the knees. If your arms are feeling a little bit tired, go ahead, drop the knees. Otherwise, it's a low plank, high plank, downward facing dog. We're going to do that again. Roll forwards, high plank, low plank. This time, up dog, come to your upward facing dog. And then from your up dog, it's a low plank, high plank, downward facing dog. Roll forwards, high plank. With or without your knees drop towards the floor, we're going to lower down for a count of 5. Breathing for 4. Press the fingers down 3, for 2, 1. Come to lying on your tummy, arms alongside your body. Just pausing for a moment here. If you want to sigh, go ahead. Forehead to the ground. Flip the palms so they're facing the floor, big toes to touch. Press the pelvis down and then lift up to your locust pose. So reach the fingertips back, reach the toes back. How high can you lift? Maybe as you breathe in, your stomach inflates and you lift a little bit higher. Stay lifted as you reach back, interlace your fingers, open the chest a little bit more. Breathing into this compression, this strengthening of the lower back. Can you lift a tiny bit higher? Last few breaths here. And as you exhale, nice and gently releasing all the way down. Sway the hips from side to side. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, lift up through all fours, walk your knees in between the hands and come all the way to lying on your back. Feet flat to the floor, hip width apart. Make sure you can just brush your heels with your fingertips. And then press the feet down so much that the hips just lift up towards the ceiling. Interlace the fingers underneath you, walk the shoulder blades further towards each other. Squeeze the glutes. Use your breath here. Think about squeezing the thighs, the knees towards each other without actually moving them. See how that lights up the inner thighs. We're only going to take one back bend today, so you choose. If you stay in your bridge pose, maybe you stay lifted, but reach your hands to next to your ears and lift all the way up into your wheel pose. Wherever you are lifting the hips up nice and tall. Keep breathing. Let's stay for another 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, For one, nice and slowly, wherever you are, rolling the spine back along the mat. Take Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet to touch, knees open wide. One hand to your heart and one hand to your stomach. Feel the beating of your heart beneath your hands. Maybe feel the rise and fall of your stomach as you breathe. Bring your knees together to touch and hug them in towards the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. It might feel nice here to rock side to side, massaging the lower back. And then straighten the legs up towards the ceiling. You can either have the hands alongside you. I prefer to sort of just tuck my hands underneath the seat bones just to lift the pelvis slightly. Keeping the head and shoulders nice and relaxed. We're going to lower our feet down towards the floor by a third. Keep breathing. By another third. Bring your feet 2 inches off the floor. Take a little look at your toes. Give them a little wiggle. And then lift your feet all the way back up. Let's do that again. Lower them down by a third. Keep breathing. Down by another third. Soften through the face. Don't clench the jaw. Bring your feet 2 inches off the floor. Take a look at your toes. Give them a wiggle. And then lift your feet all the way back up. Let's go once more. Lower them down by a third. Keep breathing. Keep soft in the shoulders, soft in the jaw. Lower by another third. Bring your feet 2 inches off the floor. Take a look at your toes and this time swing them from left to right like a pendulum for 3. For 2. Last one. Lift your feet all the way back up. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Let's take a happy baby. Grab the outer edges of your feet and just draw your knees in towards your armpits. You might want to stay in stillness or you might want to stay with that swaying from side to side. Release your feet. Let your left leg straighten out on the mat. Let your right knee fall towards the left. Reach your right arm over towards the right for a supine twist. And coming back to center, let's swap sides. Straighten the right leg, hug the left knee in. Then let that left knee fall towards the right. Open the left arm towards the left, gaze is towards the left. Keeping your breath at the forefront of your mind for these final few moments of practice. Come back to center. And we're going to finish up with a fish pose. So hands come underneath the seat bones, so palms are flat to the floor. And then press down with the forearms so much that the chest opens towards the ceiling. Tuck the head so the crown of the head is on the floor. If your hair is in the way, then just sort of move it out the way. Chest is really reaching towards the ceiling. Keep pressing the forearms down. And let's take a lion's breath here. So in through the nose, and as you exhale, open the mouth, stick the tongue out and go. Do that once more. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, take a lion's breath. Nice and slowly untuck the head. Release the hands. Slowly, slowly make your way into your final rest. Shavasana. Palms face the ceiling. Feet fall open. Soften anything, everything that you can. Knowing that there's nowhere else you need to be right now. Just enjoy the sensation of stillness. Shavasana, final rest. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and just let it go. Bring some small movement to your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms up overhead. Take a full body stretch. Roll onto your right side into a fetal position, pausing there. And then nice and slowly, make your way up to a seated or a kneeling position, hands together at heart center and your eyes are closed. Taking a moment to close your practice today by bringing to mind someone or something that you are grateful for right now. And with that thought of gratitude in your heart, lift your thumb knuckles up to your forehead center. And together we bow forwards and say, Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed class. It's a little bit of a hot one for me. Let me know if you have any questions, any requests. Otherwise, I'm back on this channel on Thursday lunchtime. The rest of my classes are now all on Zoom, so send me a message if you need any details, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.